other things are being equal, when other things are being equal, at the higher price, the lower the quantity demanded, and at the lower price, the higher the quantity demanded. On the demand curve, this is how the demand curve looks like. It slopes from left to right. That is, the vertical axis is the price column, while the horizontal axis is the quantity. So each point comes with a demand schedule. So when the price was 4, quantity demanded was 8. So when the price increased to 6, the quantity demanded was 6. When the price rises to 8, the quantity demanded was what? 4. So it tells you that at the higher price, lower is being demanded. And at the lower price, higher commodity is being demanded. So the demand curve fell from what is inversely related to price. Quantity demand is inversely related to price. So we say that demand slopes downward from left to right, showing the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. We all know that the demand for a product is being backed by prices. So when we put prices aside, other factors determine demand. So in the law of demand, we said that ceteris paribus, when all other things are being equal, the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. So what are all the other factors that are being equal? It means that there are some other factors that determines what? Demand. The first of the factor is what? The income of the consumer. When the consumer income increases, generally there's an increase in the ability of the consumer to demand more. That is, the purchasing power of the consumer has been increased. So when the price of goods is lower, the purchasing power of the consumer has increased. When your income, assuming that initially we are having an income of 1,000 cedis, and your income has increased to 2,000 cedis. So because your income has increased, the ability for you to buy more of the product has also increased. So we are saying that the income of the consumer also determines the demand for a product. The another factor is price of the related goods. We have some goods that are related. An example of said goods are what known as what? Substitutes. You can substitute one goods for another. So when the product is a substitute, substitute goods are where the prices of rises in one leads to an increase in the demand for the other. What are some of the examples of substitute goods? We are saying that when we talk about substitute goods, we are saying that the price of one leads to the increase in the demand for the other. So what are some of the examples of what substitute goods? Substitute goods.
Please, cowbell powder and ID milk.
Cowbell powder and ID milk. They are substitute. What else?
Milo and Bonvita.
That is a basic example. We need more examples.
Beef and chicken.
Beef and chicken. Okay.
Pepsi and Coca-Cola.
Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Yes, they are all substitutes. So when the price of Pepsi rises, the demand for Coca-Cola will rise. What is the reason? What's the reason behind when the price of Coca-Cola rises, the demand for Coke will increase?
So because one can be used in place of the other.
One can be used in place of the other, yes. So when the price of this one rises, consumers being rational will move to other products. Then we have another related goods known as complements. They are demanded jointly. So the a price rise in one lowers the demand for the other. Example is car and petrol. So when the price of car falls, I learned now there's been the CD has gained some value. So it has been appreciated. So due to that, more Ghanaians have been able to import cars. So whenever we are able to buy more cars, when more cars are in the existence, the demand for petrol will also rise. Typical example is also mobile phones. Now, the moment there's a rise in the price of mobile phone, what will happen to the demand for for let's say chips, SIM cards?
It will fall.
Wow.
It will fall.
It will fall, yes. So because they are complementary products, they are complementary goods. And another determinant is consumer taste and preference. When you have a taste for something, it's difficult for you to do away with that taste. Let's take those who have the taste for taking Guinness. It's difficult for them to do away with the taste of what? Guinness. So no matter the price of what Guinness, the consumers will still buy the Guinness. So taste and preferences also determine the price of what, or determine the demand for a product. The consumer expectations. Now, if the consumer expects that the price of a product will rise in the near future, they will demand more now. The same thing is that when they expect the price to fall, they will demand less of the product. So we are saying that consumer expectations also determines what price of the demand for the product. Also, total population. When the population of a country increases, the demand for the product also increases. If you go to China, China is about 2/3 of the whole world population. So the demand in China is high. That's the reason why most of the US companies, they've outsourced some of their companies in China. Because they have market there because of their population. So the higher the population, the higher the demand for the product. Now, if you compare Ghana to Nigeria, the demand for a product in Ghana will never be the same as the demand for a product in Nigeria because they have the population than Ghana. And the distribution of income also determines what the demand for a product. When income is evenly distributed, the demand for such products is high. But as if you come to Ghana, the income is not evenly distributed. The rich guys are always rich, and those at the bottom, the poor, are always poor. So demand for a product in Ghana here, to some extent, is being balanced in terms of the income status. And also credit availability. If you go to US, the developed countries where they have credit facilities, where they buy goods on credit, they can demand more of a product. Now you have your friend who has moved to US for let's say 2 years ago, because he has a credit, he can use the credit to buy whatever car he wants. But that thing cannot be applied in Ghana here because we don't have access to credit. That's the reason why someone in the US can get access to expensive products. He can buy iPhone 16 where he will be paying it in bits, in monthly. So an economy where such system exists, the demand for a product in those countries are high. Any question on the determinants of demand?
Yeah, hello,
Any
sir.
question? Yeah, Gideon.
Yeah, sir. Is there any major distinction between distribution of income and income of consumers?
Yes. When you talk about income of consumers, you are talking about, let's say, your monthly income. the income that you receive on your services. Maybe you are a worker or you are a businessman. When you sell a product, the money that you get, the revenue is your income. A government worker, at the end of the month, the money that he receives is his income. So that's the income of the consumer, your income, your available income. When you talk about income distribution, a teacher working at the university, his income is higher than a teacher at the SHS level. So in terms of distribution, it's not fairly distributed. Maybe they are all teachers, but why is it that someone at the university level is having higher salary than someone at the lower level? But they are all teachers. That's what I'm talking about, distribution.
Sir, please.
How the income.
Yes. Sir, please. Sorry, sir. Please, with the distribution, can we talk about taxation that they put on communities?
No, that's not income distribution. You are talking about income distribution. Now you have money than your friend sitting beside you. So is income being distributed fairly?
Okay.
Now the money in your pocket, is bigger than someone who is not a worker. So that's what we are talking about. The income. Someone is not receiving an income even in a day. Once you are receiving it in monthly. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Richard.
Sir.
Ken. Okay,
Hello,
Ken.
sir. Yes, it's me. Sir, please, I want to find out the issue about price control. Does it mean if there is demand and supply prevents price control? Or is it the opposite?
We will come to that. When we are dealing with the equilibrium of what? The equilibrium, demand and supply in the equilibrium. We talk about price control and those aspects. So let's understand the basics of demand and supply, then we move there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Another aspect of demand and supply is changes in quantity demanded and changes in demand. So when you talk about changes in quantity demanded, this occurs only when the price of the commodity itself changes. So at the price of 5 Ghana cedis, the quantity demanded was 20. So when the price fell to 4 Ghana cedis, that's at B, the quantity demanded was 40. So on this curve, you can say that there's a change which occurs only when price of the commodity itself changes. So there's a movement along the demand curve. So at point B, at point A, the price was 150 Ghana cedis. The quantity demanded was 160. So when the price increased to 300 Ghana cedis, the quantity demanded fell to 50 units. So you can say that there's a movement along the demand curve. So this shows that an increase in quantity demanded is caused by the price drop. So we are saying that when you talk about changes in quantity demanded, is the movement along the demand curve. Is that okay? Hello?
That's
Yes,
okay.
yes.
That's okay.
Then another aspect is change in demand. When you talk about change in demand, we are talking about shifts in demand. So this occurs when the ceteris paribus factors, all other things being equal factors, change while the price remains constant. Now the price of the product is fixed, but still more or less of the product can be demanded. So when that thing happens, you are saying that there's a change in demand. The rightward shift from Q1 to Q2 shows that there's an increase in demand due to the rise in, let's say, other factors like the income of the consumer, taste and preference of the consumer, population. When those things are favorable, the demand for the product increases. So it shifts. No matter the price, the same quantity or less will be demanded. So when the quantity of said commodity at the same price is demanded, you can say that there's a rightward shift. That's an increase in demand. The same thing applies also when there's a change in taste away from the product. The, the demand for said product falls. So there's what leftward shift. So the demand curve will shift from Q1 to Q3. So there's a fall in demand. So it has shifted rightward. We are saying that it changed leftward or inward, inward or leftward. So the change in demand happens.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So, please, so if I'm looking at the rightward shift, I'm seeing that the middle line. Let's say
The middle line.
That is what has moved. Yes. So
this is the wait. This is the initial demand. This is the initial demand curve. At the price of 3 Ghana cedis, the quantity demanded was 15. So when there was a change in income, the income of the consumer has increased. Therefore, the demand for the product shifted to Q2. That is, there has been an increase, a rightward shift in demand. So it has shifted from Q1 to Q2.
Okay. So that's what is represented by the 25.
Yes. Have shifted.
Okay.
So the demand has shifted from 15 to 25.
To 25. Okay. But the price remains the same.
The same at 3 Ghana cedis.
Okay. Yes,
So at the same price, yes. At the same price, when taste and preferences also of the product changes. For instance, if you've developed a new taste for a product, the demand for the product will increase, but that of the other product will fall. So there will be a leftward shift, an inward shift from Q1 to Q3.
So,
any question on it?
Yes. This Richard, please.
Okay.
So, please, so in this case, does all the factors affect the changes, or it's only price?
In this case, it's all the other factors.
Okay.
But with the other one, the changes in quantity demanded, it's only the price. This one is only the price. But with the change in demand, all the other factors affect the change in demand. They cause the change in demand. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. All right, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Our next topic is supply. You've heard of supply before. So when you say supply, what comes into your mind? Uh-huh.
Supply involves the distribution of goods at a given price.
Okay, distribution of goods at a given price. So if I tell you that, okay, I need
My
laptop.
hand is up, please.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
So it's the opposite of demand. So the quantity that suppliers or sellers are willing to put out for sale at a given price within a specific period of time.
Okay. So when you talk about supply, we are saying that it's the various quantities of goods and services that sellers or suppliers are willing and are able to offer for sale at a given price within a specific period of time. There's a difference between supply and stock. Supply is not the same as stock. As a producer, whatever stock that you have, after you've manufactured a product, the stock of the product is different from supplier. So the total production may not all be offered for sale. That's why we are saying that supply is different from what? Stock. Some may be converted into buffer stock. You can store it for future use. Or some may be consumed by the producer themselves. So if you produce a product and you consume it, you can't say that you've supplied the product. So after a total production, the company may put some for storage. They can also put them on their stock. They also provide other for supplier. So when the consumer is willing and able to, when the supplier or the producer is willing and able to offer that product to the market at a given price within a specific period of time, we are saying that there's what? Supplier. There's supply. Supply refers to the quantity of goods and services that producers are willing and able to offer for sale at a given price within a specific period of time. The key relationship is that it expresses the relationship between price of the commodity and the quantity the producer are prepared to offer for sale. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
That's okay.
Okay. Under the law of supply, the key principle is ceteris paribus, that's all other things being equal. When you put all other things being equal, the law states that the higher the price at which the commodity is offered, the greater the quantity is supplied. And the lower the price, the lower the quantity is supplied. Because producers are rational. They always aim at maximizing profits. So when the prices are high, they'll provide more of the product for sale. They'll provide more of the product for sale. Like when the prices are also low, they'll provide less for sale. So when prices rises, quantity supplied rises. So when prices falls, quantity supplied decreases. The producer's motive is that they are always aiming at higher prices to maximize profits. So they will always provide or they always supply higher product at a higher prices and lower product at a lower prices. So the law of supply states that
Hello, sir.
all other things. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
So,
Ken,
please,
come.
I'm a little bit, I don't want to use the word confused, but sir, the first one, the higher the price at which the commodity is offered, the greater the quantity supplied. So I was thinking it should rather be the reverse. That if the prices are lower, people will buy more
No.
and supply will go up.
No. Don't be confused. Don't be confused. Don't be confused.
Yes, sir. Why is that? That the higher the price at which the commodity is offered, the greater the
Don't be
quantity is. Right.
good.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Assuming,
Can I take a bite, please?
yeah, come in.
Okay. So, not to be some way, but as we are learning from each other. So we are
Oh,
looking
please
at
go ahead.
two sets of people with different interests.
Okay.
So one is offering, the other is accepting. Remember, we learned that in contract. So you have your interest that you want to make profit. My interest is also that I'll buy it at the best cost possible. So my interest is to reduce cost. Yours interest is to make more profit. That is what brings about the change in situation. So we demand, when the price is low, we want to have more. But with supply, you want to maximize profit. So when you see that the prices are higher, you want to produce more and offer them for sale. I hope you get the scenario and the illustration.
Yeah. Yes, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Thank you, my brother.
I get it. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks.
Let's understand it in this way. Demand is for buyers. Supply is for producers. A buyer always wants to maximize his satisfaction. So when you go to the market and the prices are high, because the money with you cannot buy all the products on the market, you buy less of the product. And all other things are being equal, are constant. You buy less of the product. The same thing is when the price of the products are low, with the same amount of money with you, you can buy more of the product. So we are saying that the law, when all other things are being equal, ceteris paribus, the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. And the lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. When it comes to the supply, we are dealing with the producer. Every producer aims at maximizing what? Profits. So when the price of the product are high, as a producer, what will you do? You offer more in the market for more profit.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So the law is saying that at the higher price, the higher the quantity is supplied, and at the lower price, the lower the quantity is supplied. So there's conversely the direct relationship is also that the lower the price, the smaller the quantity a producer would be willing to also offer for sale. So we are saying that the quantity supplied increases when prices rises. The quantity supplied decreases when prices fall, because the producers are motivated by higher prices to supply more in order to increase potential revenue, in order to get more profit.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear.
So this is a hypothetical firm. When the price was 1,000 Ghana cedis, he offered 600 for sale in the market. When the prices fell to 80, he offered 500 units to the market. When the price fell to 50, he offered 350. So you can say that at the higher price, more product is being supplied. At the lower price, less is being supplied. So the law of supply states that at the higher price, higher product is being supplied in the market. Then at the lower price, the higher the quantity, the lower the quantity is what being supplied. So there's upward lift in the supply curve. So this is the graph. The law of supply states that at the lower price, less is being supplied. So at the lower price, less is being supplied. Now the higher price, more is being supplied. So there's upward shift, upward. The supply curve slopes upward from left to right. Is that okay? Unlike the demand curve, it slopes downward. It slopes downward from left to right, but supply curve slopes upward. This is the demand curve. It slopes downward from left to right. But the supply curve slopes upward. It slopes upward. So at the higher price, more is being supplied. So when the price is 100 Ghana cedis, 600 was supplied. When it fell to 80, 500 is being supplied. So at the higher price, more is being supplied. At the lower price, less is being supplied. So it slopes upward from left to right. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Okay.
Yes, sir.
The supply also have determinants. When you put price aside, there are other factors that determines supply curve. The first factor is price of other goods. If the price of another product, let's say maize, rises, a producer may shift all his resources away from Gary to produce the more profitable what crop. It should rather be cassava. So when price of, let's say, maize rises, producer or a farmer cultivating cassava will shift the attention to maize production because he wants to maximize profits. So at the higher price of maize, his attention will be shifted to maize production, leaving the other product. So we are saying that if the price of another product, let's say maize, rises, a producer may shift resources away from Gary to produce more profitable crops. We are saying that, let's assume that the producer is producing maize and cassava at the same time. But the price of maize has rises. Instead of him to produce cassava, he rather shift his resources to the production of maize. Is that okay? So you're saying the prices of other goods also affect demand. Another determinant is prices of inputs. If the price of labor or raw materials rises, it increases the cost of resources for production. Therefore, lower will be supplied. Is that okay?
That's
Yes,
okay for
sir.
me.
Joseph, can we go ahead?
Sir, yes, I'm fine. We can go ahead.
Also, technical knowledge. When there's an improvement in technology, like machinery, better fertilizers, it reduces cost of production. In effect, it also increases what supply. Now, we know that when you want to produce more of cocoa, you need to apply fertilizer. It's because there has been an improvement in technology so that we can get quality fertilizer to produce more. So if you're able to produce more, it in effect will reduce your cost. Because with fertilizer, instead of you to employ more people, but with a little amount of fertilizer, it can increase your production. Therefore, in effect, it will increase your supply. So when there's a change in technical knowledge, supply increases. Also, government policy, taxes increases production cost. When government imposes taxes on a product, the cost of that product increases. Therefore, in effect, the producers will produce less of that product. And when government also subsidize a, a product, it will in effect increases the production of that product. So suppliers will be willing to supply more to the market because the government has subsidized their taxes, it has subsidized their cost of production. And also, number of suppliers in the market. When more firms enter an industry, the total supply increases. Typical example is the time that Gasem was the sole supplier of cement. During that period, the supply of cement was at the lower level. But now we have several firms in the market all producing cement. When you talk about the total supply of cement, is at a higher level because more suppliers are in the market. And another example, another factor is the act of nature.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Ni.
Question to the where you just left off. That there's the Gassem example you cited. What is the effect now that a lot of, companies are on the market producing cement? What is the effect?
The effect is that we are getting lower prices.
Correct. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So acts of nature. Another factor is act of nature. The weather, pests. They all affect supplier. Assuming maize, you are a producer of maize, and the weather is not favorable. There's no rainfall. What will happen to your fertilizer? What will happen to your product, the production of maize? It will fall. So nature, act of nature also affects our supplier.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Kenny.
Sir, the act of nature in this 21st century, is it still real? Or is just a theory? Because I'm looking at especially agriculture like this. If they have irrigation systems, would that be a factor to consider?
You are saying, okay, so how many irrigation systems do you have in Ghana?
So I know
You
we
don't
have
have.
one village, one dam.
Where can it be located?
The one village, one dams.
So is it working?
Okay.
Is it working?
So what I meant to say is that with this one, it is because leadership is not at play. But if there's a leadership at play and they can do that, can we take the act of nature as an essence?
You can't.
Like
You can't take
something
it out.
that can.
You
Okay.
can't take it out. So assuming the one village, one dam is in
Yeah.
operation, then there's an issue with the one village, one dam. What will happen?
There will still be
So
a drought.
assuming the one village, one dam, you are getting more water to like apply on your farm, and
Yeah.
there's a disease outbreak, like pest outbreak on your product. What will happen? You can't supply more.
Right. Right. Yes, sir. So I understand. Thank you.
Our next topic is changes in supply and changes in quantity supplied. So this diagram demonstrates a change in quantity supplied, which occurs strictly due to changes in the price of the commodity itself. You all know that when the price was 100 Ghana cedis, the quantity supplied was 600. When the price fell to 80, the quantity supplied was 500. When it fell to 60, the quantity supplied was 400. Then when it fell to 20, the quantity supply was 200. So the change in quantity supplied occurs strictly due to changes in the price of the commodity itself. So the movement from point A to point B, from this A to point B, shows that as prices rises, the producers move along the same curve to supply a higher quantity. No other factors have changed here. Only the price affects the quantity supplied. And with this one, the change in supply is also, it occurs when one of the determinants changes. We are saying that with the changes in quantity supplied, it occurs when price of the product commodity itself changes. But with the change in supply, that is the shift in supply, it occurs when the determinants of supply changes. So when there's a rightward shift, that from S1, this is the initial supply curve, S1. So when the shift from S1 to S2, it means there's been an increase in supply, a rightward shift in supply. And when there's a decrease in supply, the supply curve shift leftward or a shift inward. It means there's a decrease in supply. That's from S1 to S3. The red line is the S3. Then the blue line is the S2. So with the blue line, there's an increase in supply because there's a shift, a rightward shift in supply. Then the red one, there's an inward or leftward shift, that from S1 to S3. So this, when there's an increase in supply, we can say that the other factors, such as technological improvement, a fall in input costs, or government subsidy, has improved. So when there's an improvement in technology, when there's a fall in an input cost or raw material, or when there's a government subsidy, there's a shift. Supply will increase from the black line to the blue line. With the red line, that's the decrease in supply. This can be caused by an increase in production costs. When the government increases the cost of production, or when there's a rise in input prices, or when there's an adverse act of nature, supply will shift leftward. That's S1 to to S3. Any question?
Hello, sir. A little clarity.
Okay.
Okay, so the understanding I'm getting here is that when you are talking about quantity, change in quantity supplied and then change in quantity demanded, it is always as a result of change in price, right? That is the only
Yes.
factor.
Yes.
But we talk about change in supply and change in demand. For those ones, the other factors
Factors,
are at play.
yes. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I want to find a way to distinct both. Thank you. I'm okay.
Sir,
Yeah, go
hello,
ahead.
sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
go
please,
ahead.
from where my colleague left off, can we also say that quantity supply may change, but prices will remain constant?
Yes, when all other factors changes.
Okay. When all other factors are equal.
No. Listen. When you talk about the quantity, the change in quantity supply, we are much concentrated on the price when all other factors are constant.
Okay.
Now, when you talk about change in supply, you are talking about all other factors. When price is fixed, then the price is constant.
Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you, sir. But sir, in all this, who determines that change? How is it analyzed or seen? Is it a real thing?
It's a real thing. Now, if you're a producer of, let's say, biscuits, and you are using maize to produce the biscuit, and price of maize are at the higher side, will you be able to produce more maize?
No, sir.
You can't do. But when price of maize are high, you can't be able to produce more of the maize, more of what a biscuit, because the cost of production has increased.
Right. Right. Yes, sir.
The same thing applies to when the price of maize are low, right? And also other inputs, because we can't say that the production of biscuits rely only solely on maize alone. We have other factors, other products that combine to get the biscuit, the final product of biscuit. So when we are saying that when the cost of input rises, it affects the supply of the product. Though the price is fixed, though there's no change in prices, but the other factors, when the cost of labor is high, your input in production has rises. So what will happen? You can't produce more because you can't employ more labor.
Okay.
Typical example. Do you know that this iPhone, I think the company is in where? Is it Canada or US? iPhone. But the hard cover, the hard aspect of iPhone is being produced in China. But when it comes to the software aspect, it is America that works on the software aspect, because the cost of labor in China is low. Therefore, most of the Americans company initially shifted to China because of the cost of production is low over there. So they can produce more from China. Then when it comes to the aspect of fixing the software and the other things, then they bring it to US for them to fix those items. So whenever there's a rise in input or whenever there's a low in input of production, the supply of that product rises.
That's it. Thank you.
Please, but in the definitions, please just wait.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Let's go there.
Yes, sir. Please, in the definition, he said at a given time,
Yes.
but sir, in the diagram there is no time.
Okay. Okay. In economics, we assume time as a factor because you can't work on whatever activity that you are doing or you're embarking on is based on time. So we assuming that in economics, we always assume. So we are saying that as a producer, you can supply more or be willing to supply more at a given price within that specific period of time. Now you can supply more when price of the product are high. Tomorrow, you can't supply more because the price of the product has fallen. So you can only supply less. So tomorrow is a given time. Today is a given time. 10 years time is a given time. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. I was thinking it should be time. Time should be shown on the diagrams.
Oh no,
Yes.
that is not that important. Time is not important. Our major concentration is the price and quantity.
Quantity.
We are determined on the price and quantity.
Right.
Because how can you measure time? Richard, how can you measure time? So we concentrate on the variables that we can measure. That's price and quantity.
Thank you.
Any question? Any question? I think I don't
hello,
want to.
sir.
Yeah,
So
I think
in the definition, the graph illustrates changes in supply, which you said, no. Go for it. Now move forward.
this side.
No, where you left off, where we are, which this side. It says changes in supply which occurs when one of the determinants of supply changes. Is it always the case that only one, or can the two of them coincide?
Two can. You can just. That's why when it comes to this one, the rightward shift, I said that this can be caused by technological improvement or a fall in input cost or a government subsidy. So it can be one or two or three. Because the time that we were defining supply, we said at a given time. So within this given time, what has changed? Now let's assume that more producers maize. No, let's take this product.
No,
Cement.
sir, it's okay. Sir, it's okay. We can move on.
Okay. So any other questions? So now you should be able to explain what demand is as well as supply. Their determinants is to be able to know the changes in supply, changes in quantity supply, as well as their determinants. So I don't want to stress you today. I want us to concentrate on this. So when we come to the equilibrium aspect, they will not be confused. Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
So make sure you get an understanding of supply, you get an understanding of demand. So when we get to their equilibrium, when they come in equilibrium, then you know what
Hello, sir.
saying. Yeah, Emmanuel.
I've sent in the chat but
Yes.
box.
If consumers' income increases but prices stays the same, why does demand shift instead of moving along the demand curve? It's because we are saying that a shift in supply. Now, if the income of the consumer increases but price stays the same, why does demand shift instead of moving along the demand curve? We are saying that when price is fixed, any changes in the other factors of production, exception of price, will cause the demand curve to shift. Because assuming your income level has increased, now when your income level increases, your disposable income, the money available for you to buy goods, has increased. Therefore, you can buy more of a product. So the supply will shift. The demand for the product will shift. Even at even if the price is high, because your income has rises, you have more money to buy the product at the same price. But assuming the government has reduced your income, okay, let's take 2025 or so, the government increased workers' salary to 25%. Oh, no, is it 10%? 2026 or 2025, the government increased the salary to 10%. So the moment the government
That is
increased the salary to
2026.
2026, yes, 10%. So the moment the government increased the salary to 10%, it means the income of the consumer, the income of the workers has increased. Therefore, at the same price, more of a product can be bought. So there will be a shift in demand, not a movement along the demand curve. Is that okay?
Hello, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I get
Yes,
you.
sir.
And, okay, I want to ask a follow-up question, but
Okay, Ima.
yeah. So, let's move to the supply versus the stock.
Okay.
You see the distinction between the two.
I'm coming. Let me finish with this one. Collins is saying that if a supplier supply products to maximize profit and the supply break even, what will happen? We are saying that every producer aims at maximizing profit. And in economics, we have three main types of profit. You have abnormal profit, subnormal profit, and normal profit. So when I'm teaching you production, we come to that. Breaking even is also part of profit. So we are not saying that you can get more profit, like 2 billion, but if you are able to get, let's say, 100 million today, then let's say the same in a week time you are getting the same 100 million. Instead, you're breaking even. You gain some profits in economics. The same thing applies to even losing past production. We term it as a profit. So you are losing. So you are maximizing profit. Is that okay, Collins? So
Yes, sir.
even though you are producing, you have the aim of maximizing profit, and your profit is an even profit. So when the prices are high, you always aim at supplying more than when the prices are low. Ima, oh, are there?
Yes, sir. So I was talking about the supply versus the stock.
Stock.
If you
Okay.
yeah, if you go to that side. So I just want to get more clarity on that aspect. So the differences between the two.
Okay.
How I want to know the importance to the I mean to the economics, the economic
The economy or economics
and how
in
important
this
it
in this
is.
topic.
Yeah, in this topic.
Okay. I'm saying that you are a producer. When we talk about supply, we are saying it is the amount of goods and services that you are willing and you send to the market at that time within the prices you want to sell the product. That is supply. Supply. But
Okay.
when you talk about stock, it is the product, the total product you put aside to be supplied in another day. That is not part of supply. Supply. Stock is what you put aside. Let's say you are reserving it.
Okay.
Whatever you are storing or at the storage, your stock after the production, the total product becomes your stock. But if you take away some portion of it to the bucket to offer for sale, you are saying that that is a supply because that is what you are willing and you are able to supply at that given price within the time that you are supplying it. Is that okay?
Right. Right. Right.
Hello, sir.
And also,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
with the
ahead.
stock and then the supply. Can I also say that, for instance, you have 20 phones, but as it stands now, you only want to sell 5 of it. So that becomes the supply, and then the stock becomes the
Yes.
entire number. Is that,
20.
am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
right, sir. I have another follow-up question about
Go
the
ahead.
supply. You can move to the supply care.
This one.
Yes. So for per your explanation and then the diagram that is the graph that is showing now, it means the supply curve moves upward instead of downwards, right? So I just want to
Yes. The
know,
downward is the demand curve.
yes. So are there a case whereby it is opposite?
Yes.
Like
That's where
instead of
we get, yes, that's where we will get a abnormal supply curve.
okay, all right,
Because there's let's say, a situation like, let's get to even the demand. Even no matter the price of cigarettes, so people buy
okay,
because of what? Because cigarette has some kind of taste. But even if you put like thousands on it, still people will buy it. So when it comes to some product, it doesn't follow the normal law. The same thing applies to supply. Producer of, let's say, wheat, if a farmer is producing wheat, no matter even if the price of wheat is at the lower side, you can see them producing. It's not because of the prices, because that's what you want to do. So when in such case, you will say that there's what abnormal supply curve. It doesn't follow the law of supply. Because no matter the price, you can get a supply curve, like the price will be at 60, but still more will be supplied. But the price will be at 60 or less will be supplied. The same thing, like the price will be at the quantity supply will be 400. No matter the changes in price, still the same quantity can be supplied.
Okay.
So in that case, you can say that there's what abnormal supply. It doesn't follow the normal law of supply.
Okay. Okay. So in that regards, what is the consequence to the economy? I mean, with this regards, when it tends to become abnormal, what is the impact?
The impact is that whatever activity that happens in Ghana affect the economy as a whole.
Right.
So it depends on the direction of. Let's assume that the government has subsidized a product, but the subsidy on the product is not having an impact on the production. It will not follow the normal supply chain, but still the government has provided subsidy on the product. That is what we are talking about. Okay. Now, let's call it a day. So I want you to concentrate on the demand and supply topic. Study it well. Then next week, we will combine them to deal with the market equilibrium. Have a day. Have a good day.
So there is an answer.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it's this month.
That's a good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
So, with your submission, you said that when the quantity of demand falls, the price rises. Right, please.
When the quantity of demand falls, no.
As the price rises, or
As the price rises.
okay. So you said that when quantity demand falls, as price rises, it follows the law of demand, right?
As the price rises, quantity demanded for, yeah, it follows the law of demand.
Okay. So, but we have goods that the prices go high and then still the demand is still high.
Yes, that is where the abnormality comes in.
Okay. So how do you call that?
Abnormal demand curve.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's call it a day. I don't want to add more topics on you today. So concentrate on the law, the demand and the supply. And when next week we will combine them to deal with the market equilibrium. That is where we will apply. That is where we will apply simultaneous equation and the mass with length. So study this one to know how demand supply behaves. Then now you know your mass, you know your simultaneous equation, you know your inequality. So when we come to the equilibrium, you apply them. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So just study the demand, study the supply, know your mass. Then we are coming to apply in the market equilibrium. Okay. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.